Hello everybody, welcome back. So I've been away for Christmas, so I've not really spent much time looking at charts. I've just been looking at them for the last hour or so. You know, the old classics, Dixie, Euro, S&P, and obviously Bitcoin. When we were away, I got a tip from my own Telegram guys to have a look at XRP, which I was very grateful for. So that's the only video I made while I was away, and we did have a little run, a tiny little pump. Tiny pump actually, but it was a pump all the same, and while it did do that pump, it actually generated some decent signals. So that's good. So I'll probably make a video of that sort of tomorrow, I think. Allow everything to cool off, but just very briefly, just in summary from that XRP video. Yeah, it ran up on the 4-hourly for its Bitcoin pair to its 200 simple moving average, and while doing that, generated a conversion baseline cross above the cloud. So as far as this is concerned, currently this is a trend in play, still at this level. So cooling off after that rejection. We'll see where this goes, and that's also coupled with the XRP pump signal on the 4-hourly for its tether pair. So pretty interesting setup in all fairness, but recognise this is just 4-hourly. But yeah, both Bitcoin and USDT pair look good. So let's think about Bitcoin first, and then we'll go to traditional markets just to see how they look. Bitcoin's still hovering above that $16,500 zone. So this is basically a reasonable area to think about. Being above this level more or less is good. In fact, you know, in the short term, you can even see that the incremental step is a little higher than where it is. It's about $100 or so higher. So we're talking 16,650 more or less. So so long as we're above those areas, preferably the higher one over here, things might remain sideways, I suppose, before they actually gain any kind of momentum. There's no signal on this, not like XRP. There's no sort of trend like XRP. There's no promise, to be honest with you, for any further upside at the moment. Unlike XRP. And I'm not trying to shill you XRP, don't get me wrong. Someone made a comment saying, I thought XRP was supposed to pump like 3 videos ago. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I think it's probably more than 5. That you might get certain signals on charts. Doesn't necessarily mean that they'll play out. Crypto is especially poor for those sort of setups and signals, because we all know that whatever altcoin it is you're trading, they can have a great setup, they can have all the signals, they can have all the bells and whistles, and then Bitcoin denies you that. Or even worse, even Bitcoin looks like it wants to do it because all traditional markets are going to do it, and then FTX denies you that. So signals and settings aren't everything. Yeah, they're not everything. So, but yeah, currently XRP looks relatively promising still, and Bitcoin, if anything, you know, we're hoping for a sideways meandering accumulation on a short-term time frame, like a 4-hourly, sitting above the $16,650 zone, for the hope that we can creep out of here over the space of a week or so and develop a setup similar to what XRP had. So I'm not looking for any major big upside on this. I'm also not looking for any major big downside on this. I'm basically looking at a continuation of a sideways area for pretty much a week. I'm not talking about a week in time. I'm talking about a week, a week chart. Really, it's not great. It's not particularly massively bearish, but yeah, Bitcoin is basically meh. It's very meh, and that kind of meh attitude, I suppose, on Bitcoin can offer some upside for other coins, but it's generally not a great trading environment. Meh is good if the overall market is good, and the overall market isn't particularly good at the moment. So we're going to start with Euro, basically try and get the edge on Bitcoin, because this is how we, I suppose, how we end up having to do it now. We have to look at the broader picture, and for the moment, the Euro has reclaimed. We're looking at this on a daily. Has reclaimed this area, which is the $1.06. It's a flat area, flat number. We gave it up over here. We found a resistance and we came crashing back down. Formed this ascending triangle, broke out of it into the larger ascending triangle, to which we have kind of broke out of it. But I feel as though it's running out of steam. Money flow index tailing off, and same with the RSI. So there's natural consolidation. What I think is something we should keep a close eye on, because this, you know, once you take off all the noise, or take everything away from the chart, or at least I suppose just that, but just those, we'll take absolutely everything away. What am I doing? This is, yeah, it's like when you've come back from school, from summer holidays, you've forgotten how to write. Well, it is still an uptrend. It's definitely still an uptrend, but it does look like it's running out of steam. So what I'm going to say is the thing to focus on here for the euro is, do we form bearish divergence, which is another spike? So do we have another spike like this one did? It spiked up and then came down quite rapidly, quite quickly. Do we form another spike on this to form a bearish divergence, which could easily happen given the fact that we're tailing off and we were relatively high over here, not massively high, but quite high, and that would be the start of a deeper pullback back into the triangle. Maybe these areas down here, the 200s, 50. Or the 50 simple, 50 exponential, whatever we do we find another spike, which then takes us down to a bigger drop, back down to 103 sort of area, over the next week or so. That's what we'd be looking for. So one last high on the euro might be worthy of, and again, this is for those of you who are comfortable doing these sort of things, might be worthy of scaling into some shorts if we do reach a new high on the euro, because it does look like momentum is tailing off, and I'm anticipating that it forms a high that gets sold into, and I don't think we're going to come crashing back down, not while we're above all these major moving averages. The reason I'm boring you to death with euro is it assists quite dramatically with the ups and downs of Dixie, and Dixie has reached a considerable low recently, exactly as expected. But we've also been waiting for it to bounce from this considerable low. Not reverse, but do a decent bounce, maybe 4 or 5%. And we've not got anything close to that at the moment. And if it does start to do that, which we expect it to do anyway, it should bring everything down. It's usually the case. The Everything Bounce 2.0, I sold mine over here. We did go on to make a new high, but that's where we started to sell off to. This is the S&P. And now we're sort of sitting around in the intermediate area of this descending triangle. I appreciate my charts are quite messy. And this isn't particularly bearish at the moment, but again, taking profit at this level, waiting for a very realistic possibility of moving back down. I still think that there's a good chance that we have hit an all-time low for the S&P and traditional markets, generally speaking. But we are also subject to anything else that might be thrown, from a news or geopolitical perspective. I see that there's things going on in Russia banning oil to EU countries. There's all kinds of stuff that could happen. This time last year, the only thing we had to worry about was Omicron, which is, again, for the record, I did sell all my stocks and a third of my crypto at that level back in December last year. So who knows what's going to be thrown in our face? Each year seems to be getting progressively crazier. So who knows what 2023 is going to throw at us? But for the moment, the chart is still relatively neat. There's still rhythm to it, and if that is the case, then the rejection has taken place, and we'll see where we get picked up from. Hopefully, form a double bottom or even higher, and break out of here. Some point in the first quarter to reaccumulate and then start moving up, and that should take Bitcoin and everything with it as well, adding a bit more confidence into the market. But again, so far it's a reasonably speculative idea. And finally, the Dixie. So again, we take the Dixie back to our weekly. The weekly is where we were focused on the most. It's the 50 exponential, where we knew that we were going to come down to. We did come down to it. We've been sitting around this level roughly for a few weeks now. And I'm still waiting for the bounce. The bounce to either take us to the 10 exponential, maybe the 21 exponential, or maybe even the Bollinger Band Center, which is sitting around 108.6. If we break up and out from that level, then we'll probably carry on with this channel. And we've done that in the past. We had a very big, significant rally back here, 2014 into 15. We hit the top of here. We consolidated down to the 50 exponential, just like we've done these last few weeks. We went back up, we came back down, and then we came back up to hit the top of the trend line again, and that's where we came back down from there. So it's this sort of rhythm, same over here really, a big rally up to the top of the channel, back down to the 50, back up to the top of the channel, then a bigger breakdown, and a series of lower highs, lower lows. So this is why I said that if we do get the rejection here, which it seemed more obvious than not, that's why I made such a song and dance about this Everything Bounce 2.0, because of the currency pairs. So we had basically Japanese yen, which is almost exactly a carbon copy of the Dixie. Really gave a really very good indication that it was reaching a significant peak, and obviously the euro as well. So all of those things combined has caused this, but it's not impacted the markets to the greatest extent, given the fact that the Dixie has actually plummeted. Stocks and obviously crypto, due to FTX, didn't really do a great deal. So we're still very much a watch and wait scenario. You know, that's unfortunately how it's going to be. Bitcoin being meh, and S&P basically reacting now as as expected after hitting this area. And now it's a matter of waiting to see if we do form a new low, and if that's the case, a new low would be a continuation of this bear market, probably taking us down over time to around 3,200 or so, pre-pandemic levels basically. And if that's the case, then yeah, you'd expect to see all of crypto continue to go to wrecked city, even more so than it has already. So that would mean new lows, probably significant lows, over the next few months or so. But for the moment, it is a wait and see, watch and wait kind of vibe. On the short term, really, Bitcoin is not giving anything else away, and it's almost like we're warming our cars up again to get back into the race. So as far as trading is concerned, I mean, it's still Christmas for me, so I'm not particularly looking to make any epic trades. But the only thing I would feel reasonably comfortable trying would be shorting a new high on the euro, and it would only be a little scalpy scalp. It wouldn't be anything much more than that. But for crypto, it's still pretty much, I wouldn't say dead, but it's not offering anything exceptional, and traditional markets still seem to be the ones with the clearer charts, and so that's really what trading is about. We'll trade the charts which are clearest, if you're going to trade at all. But again, it's still Christmas. It's just have a nice time still. But I'm back I'm back on YouTube, back at my own house, so I'm gonna make videos more regularly again. But yeah, other than that, I hope you have a nice day, and take it easy.